AI, machine learning, marketing, yeah, they're everywhere. I mean, if you're not seeing ads, if you're in business and you're not seeing ads for AI and machine learning, then, well, I don't know where you are and what's going on, because we're all being bombarded right now with all of this stuff. And look, you've got to be asking yourself, and you heard us talk about machine learning or AI specifically. You've got to be asking yourself, how does this all play into my marketing? How can the machines learn enough to help me with my marketing? Well, guess what? Dean and I are here today to help you with that. Dean and I today are going to dive into this ML, machine learning, this crazy word, and really start to help you understand how to prepare for it. Dean.
Yeah.
We're back for another week, buddy.
We are. Good to be back.
It's great to be back, my friend. And so for everybody who doesn't know, Dean and I now are officially standing desk buddies.
We are. You'll see us moving around a little bit,
That's why. Now, fair point. He led the charge. He's been on the standing desk, and I'm late to the party, but I'm here now and loving it.
It's good stuff. It is good stuff.
It is. But I want to dive in and let's start talking about this thing, machine learning. And, well, how about this? You give me a little bit of where you see the future going with this. Is this just a now thing, or is this just going to explode and become something big?
Well, I think it's both, right? I think it's a now thing at some level. It actually, AI, the big sort of bucket of AI, machine learning is a subset of AI. And certainly AI has supported marketing and marketing analytics for a long, long time. But I think we're at the tip of an explosion. And we're all about strategy on our podcast, right? We're not just about getting into tactics. We want to kind of come up out of the weeds and think strategy. So strategically, how I think about this is from two places. How can the machine learning technology and AI help me produce better content that's going to produce better results, right? Which leads to predicting outcomes and optimizing content, right? Well, at the end of the day, hopefully our listeners aren't just marketing because they've been told they should, right? There's a goal, there's a strategy behind it, ultimately filling the funnel with high quality people that want to buy our stuff. So I think that AI fits into that, and machine learning will continue to grow our ability to predict outcomes, therefore optimizing our content. So that's where I'm at the highest level. Yeah,
I completely agree with you that at the highest level, that's where it is. But I'm also concerned, Dean. I'm also concerned because the thing that it has the ability to do is present people with a ton more data, sometimes vanity metrics, sometimes non-vanity metrics, but more data than people actually know what to do with. On top of that is when now you don't know what to do with the data, and then the machine just gives you a suggestion as to, okay, based on this, you should change that. But you don't know why. You didn't even understand what was going on. And you're just following the machine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my concern about the future. And, as you said, our whole thing is principles here. So let's step back. Let's step all the way back. And, we talk about traffic. We talk about leads and all that type of stuff. And it comes organic or paid. So let's jump in. Let's start with organic. And let's jump into organic and start to say, okay, what are some of the principles that we need to understand about our marketing and our marketing strategy before we start implementing machine learning?
Yeah. You and I are both big believers in understanding our buyer.
Yes.
Sometimes even better than they understand themselves, right? And what
all the time
to buy, the language they use, how they think about the problem. So everything begins and ends with our buyer, right? So as I think about this whole process, it comes back to the buyer's journey, right? And it truly is a journey, a psychological journey that our prospect goes through to make a decision. And our goal as great marketers is to get them into our messaging ecosystem, So they know who we are and what we do at a high level, a general level, the problems we solve, and then move them through step by step. The goal isn't to get them to buy today. The goal is just to move them to the next step in the journey.
It isn't? I mean, we don't want people to just open their wallets and give us tons of money right now.
Nope.
That's what? But Dean, we want money.
So you're saying, no. You and I have had many conversations about this, that I only want to work with people that I can have an impact with and they're a fit. And if they just shop with a credit card, oftentimes they're not. We need to educate and we need to build a relationship and all those fun things. So if you're just selling a product, yeah, I'll take your credit card perhaps. But generally in consulting and business advisory and business coaching, well, you're not going to buy it. You're not going to sell them on the first conversation.
Yeah.
So again, we're talking about how to predict and optimize our marketing outcomes. So understanding what we can do to get them from point A to point B, and that pool of people is going to shrink through the sales process, right? The buyer's journey process. So every step of the way, we want to be able to predict the conversion to the next step and the conversion to the next step. And then ultimately, when you get to this SQL, sales qualified lead, which is a lead that a salesperson's had a conversation with,
right?
Our close rate is 75, 85, 95%. So you built predictability into the whole process. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today is how can you do that?
Yeah.
So you're not just throwing more content at the wall. So that's how I think about big picture, strategically approaching organic content.
Yeah. And I think to make that parallel really tight there for everyone listening is understanding that getting into the world of machine learning and big data about your data and the analysis of your data means you need to understand the journey better and the stages that people go through better. Okay. So yeah, there are tons of tools and we can go and review all those tools right now and tell you all this wonderful stuff. But yeah, if you're not here on truly understanding these steps, the data means nothing to you.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It means
absolutely nothing to you. So let's start at the beginning then. Let's start at the beginning. Okay. Because you said something a little while ago about creating great content. So it starts, especially in the organic world, we start with creating great content. Well, we've dealt with this before, but I want to deal with it again because we've got some new listeners. Hey, y'all. And, I know that you're hearing great content and you've heard tons of people say great quality content over the years, and it means absolutely nothing. So what are we talking about when we say create great content, Dean?
Yeah. Well, I think everybody may have a slightly different definition, but for me, it's content that resonates with my audience and it causes them to react somehow.
Yeah. Yes.
It may be, I don't care, but they reacted, or holy cow, he's speaking to me. Right? At the base level, that's what you want. You want a reaction to your content. If it's just scroll, oh, there's a team, scroll. That's not great content. You want a reaction. What do you think? Right. How would you define great content?
Absolutely. And those reactions come from the fact that you have hit a need or a pain point that I have.
Yep.
And either I'm going to agree with you or disagree with you. And if I disagree with you, cool. I can move on and not be your customer. You don't want me as your customer, period. Right? But if I agree with you, then I want to hear a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing is the great content has to resonate. That's what Dean is saying. It has to resonate with something that's going on with me right now concerning whatever it is you're talking about. Yeah. Otherwise, why would I care?
Yeah. And I think as we think about, well, great, that's a definition of great content, but what is it? What do I actually need to produce? What is the messaging? What should I focus on? And so many people out in the world and clients we work with, clients you work with, I know, they want to talk about their thing, their widget, the what they do, the how they do it, their secret sauce, their proprietary process. And guess what? Your audience doesn't care.
They don't.
You haven't earned the right to talk about that stuff yet.
It goes even further than that, though, Dean. I read a study. It's in the book Spin Selling, which was written way back in 1988. Okay. Way back in the days. Right. But here's the deal. especially for those of us who are in the consultative world, especially for those of us who are in the high ticket world, right? Your features of your product, your customer does not care about.
They don't.
They don't care. They don't want to hear them. Studies have been done to prove this over and over and over again. Over and over and over again.
Yep.
They want to know about the actual benefits. They want to know about how this is actually going to change them. What's the problem that they have? Help them understand their problem and how this will help them change.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if you went shopping for a car, right? You walked onto the lot or you jumped onto the website and all the car manufacturer or the salesperson talked about was, this is the technology behind the internal combustion engine.
Yeah.
Right? Who cares, right?
No
we
one.
Want to know, we want to get from A to B, and depending on our budget, we want to do it in a luxurious way or a less so. We want to know capacity and miles per gallon and top speed. And we want to know the things that impact our experience and not how the internal combustion engine works. The internal combustion engine is your process. You care about it. They just care about solving the problem. And so that top of funnel content has to be just about the problem.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. Yes. So, it's one of the things that's interesting. So one of the cars, speaking of cars, that I'm looking at right now is the EV9 by Kia that's going to be coming out soon. And if you look at some of their early marketing, they talked all about the 6 captain chairs and the relaxation mode of the 6 captain chairs, right? Now, that's all they said. Relaxation mode. Okay. Now, I don't know what that means until I went to see the vehicle was when I realized, okay, so relaxation mode, you gave me a footrest and this thing happened and that thing happened. And that's how I relaxed. But my pain point was if I'm driving long distance, it's not comfortable sitting in a car. And now I've got relaxation mode.
It solves the problem, right?
I don't need to know how.
But what it did is it caused you to lean in and ask for more information.
Yes.
That qualified you just a little further from being a contact to a somewhat qualified MQL, right? Maybe you clicked on the button to download the full brochure or to watch the video. And we're going to watch you, Atiba, as a prospect through your buyer's journey and see the interactions on certain types of content. And we know if you go from the ad to the video, we just increase the predictability of you buying. The opportunity to convert you to the next step.
And likewise, if you go from the ad to the video back to a blog, we also realize you don't buy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Researching, you're just kicking tires, right? Virtual tires.
You're just kicking virtual tires. And so this is the point here of, as we talk about machine learning and the answers that machine learning can give you. Yeah, it can give you tons of answers, but you got to ask it the right questions. And you can't ask it the right questions unless you know the journey that you've created.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
And once you understand that journey that you've created, we're taking someone from the ad to the video to the blog to the brochure download. And that's the journey. And this is why the journey works. Right? Then when you layer machine learning on top of it and machine learning shows you it doesn't work and it says, oh, it doesn't work because it's broken at this step. Now you can dive in and start to understand, okay, why is going from the video to the blog not working?
Yep.
What was it we were trying to accomplish there that isn't working? Versus, oh, it's not working. Let's just try something else, but we don't know why. Maybe it was that blog. Maybe it was that one. Maybe you should send them to a blog, just not that one.
Yep. Maybe there wasn't a clear call to action. Maybe whatever, right? And right now, even without machine learning, we have that data, right? That's the beauty of digital marketing. We can track and analyze everything, whether you're using HubSpot or Salesforce or pick your platform, right? The data's there. And machine learning is going to give us the ability to more quickly and more accurately make assessments, right?
Yes.
But I will say that there's this sort of experience factor, this human wisdom factor that AI is not there yet. It cannot replicate our gray matter and our experience and our gray
It
hair,
can.
right? And so even when we get to the point where machine learning is going to be able to spit out the journey and the failure points and provide recommendations, we've still got to bring our human kind of wisdom to the equation, right?
Yes, we absolutely do. And this is the mistake that I'm seeing a lot of people make. Okay. In the AI space, in the machine learning space, is just blindly following because it can do it faster than me. And so therefore it must be right.
Must be right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's go into generative for a moment. I get this all the time, but ChatGPT said,
yeah.
Huh? And so the challenge there is, when you didn't take that time to do what Dean and I are talking about, when you don't take that time to really study the customer, consider the journey, ask the questions, and then what? What do they need to know next? And then what? What do they need to do next? What is going to be impactful for them? Not you. Getting back to Dean's point of, you can't just come asking for money today. Right?
Yep.
If you don't do that work up front, you will fall victim to, well, the machine said to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? Your brain is still more powerful than that machine, and will always be.
Yeah. In the ways that matter, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I would encourage our listeners, if you haven't read or studied the knowledge pyramid, or it's also known as the DIKW pyramid, it layers the levels of knowledge and information, and the bottom foundational layer is data. Mm-hmm. As humans, we can't process terabytes of data in seconds.
We can't.
AI is really good at that stuff, right?
Right.
Awesome. The next layer up is information. It's taking that data and kind of creating some information around it, right? It's almost like having a report based on the data. AI is really good at that. As humans, we're okay. It just takes us longer. But the two layers that really count, that make the difference, is that 1% that makes all the difference is the next layer up, which is knowledge, taking the information and becoming knowledgeable, making assessments, deciding what's next. But the tip of the pyramid is wisdom. Wisdom. And I'm not sure AI, in the near future at least, can truly replicate human wisdom, experience. So go study the knowledge pyramid and understand each layer and where technology fits and where humans need to interact to make some decisions.
Well, Dean, and as we come to wrapping this here, I'm going to say this, and some of y'all have heard me say this already. AI, that includes machine learning, is going to make smart people smarter and dumb people dumber. And the dumb people, and I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion if this falls into being you, because if it does, this is also your wake-up call to change. Okay? The dumb people are going to stop at the data and the information level.
Yep.
And just take that and run with it. Right? The smart people are able to say, okay, let's take that information, turn it into knowledge, and then the knowledge into wisdom. And let's create with that.
Yep.
That is the beauty of the future.
It is. And it's that combination of AI and technology and the human brain, right? That's the real power. And even today with generative, we're still seeing so many people just create content and copy paste, even though everywhere on the internet, you shouldn't do that for all the reasons. But it's just like, all right, I just need to get my post out. I just need to get it out. GPT, what should I say? Boom. Okay, copy, paste, send. Just to check the box. And if we go right back to the beginning of the conversation, the purpose is what? The purpose is to help you connect with more people and sell more stuff. And just sending out a generic AI-produced post won't have any impact on that. So refocus on the strategy first. We'll come back to strategy every time on this podcast, but all of the tools and tactics are irrelevant unless you have a clear focus on strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, y'all, let's focus on your strategy. You need help? We get it. We get it. We want to hear from you. Drop us a comment down below. Reach out to us. You can find us on LinkedIn. We want to help you get there, because if you don't have the right principles and strategies in place, it's only a matter of time before you're out of business. I mean, and that's just fact. Matter of fact, that's just wisdom.
There you go. There you go. Experience and wisdom speaking to you right through the screen.
Hey, he's Dean. I'm Atiba. We're the Growth Engineers. Great to see y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye, y'all.